The Avengers skimmed the waves, torpedoes slung under their bellies like deadly fruit. Through my cockpit canopy, I watched the massive gray fortress of Musashi grow larger with each heartbeat. Her 18-inch guns could obliterate our entire squadron with a single salvo, but we pressed on. I squeezed the torpedo release, felt the aircraft lurch upward as 2,000 pounds of death dropped away, and watched my payload streak to the churning water toward the pride of the Imperial Japanese Navy. The explosion sent fountains of seawater skyward, and I knew we had just changed the course of history. My name is Lieutenant Commander James Dutch Holland, and on October 24, 1944, I flew me Grumman TBF Avenger Torpedo bomber in what would become one of the most decisive naval air battles of World War II. The target was the Musashi, sister ship to the legendary Yamato, and at 72,000 tons, she was the largest battleship ever built. What happened that day in the waters off the Philippines would prove that American naval aviation had reached a level of precision and power that could humble even the mightiest warships ever constructed. 3 days earlier, Admiral William Bull, Halsey's Third Fleet, had been prowling the waters east of the Philippines like a pack of hungry wolves. Our intelligence sources had been feeding us reports of massive Japanese fleet movements, but nothing could have prepared us for what was coming. The Japanese had thrown everything they had left into one final, desperate gamble called Operation Shogo. 4 separate task forces, including their most powerful battleships, were converging on Leyte Gulf to destroy our invasion forces and turn the tide of the Pacific War. I was aboard the USS Essex, one of Halsey's fast carriers, when the first reports came in. The ready room was thick with cigarette smoke and nervous energy as Commander Air Group Mike Sanchez briefed us on the morning's reconnaissance mission. "Gentlemen," Sanchez said, pointing at the map with his wooden pointer, "our scouts have spotted the largest Japanese surface fleet since Midway. We're talking about battleships, heavy cruisers, and destroyers heading straight for our boys on Leyte. Among them is the Musashi." A murmur ran through the room. Every pilot knew about the Musashi and her sister ship Yamato. These were the monsters of the Japanese fleet, each armed with 9 18-inch guns capable of hurling shells weighing more than a small car over 20 miles. Their armor was so thick that our 5-inch guns might as well have been throwing pebbles. "Sir," called out Lieutenant Tommy Rodriguez, one of our Hellcat pilots, "what's plan?" "Those ships have more armor than a bank vault." Sanchez smiled grimly. "That's where you Avenger boys come in. Holland, you and your torpedo squadron are going to put some fish in the water and see if we can't ventilate that floating fortress." I felt my stomach tighten. The TBF Avenger was a magnificent aircraft, but flying a torpedo attack against a battleship was like charging a castle wall with a sword. You had to fly straight and level, slow and low, making yourself a perfect target for every gun on the ship. Many good men had died making torpedo runs, and I'd lost too many friends to Japanese flak fighters. But this was different. This was the Musashi, and if we could take her out of action, it would be like cutting the heart out of the Japanese fleet. At 8 o'clock on October 24th, we launched from the Essex. The morning was clear, with unlimited visibility and calm seas. Perfect conditions for what was about to become the largest naval air battle in history. My Avenger, nicknamed Tennessee Belle after my hometown sweetheart, was loaded with a Mark 13 aerial torpedo, 2,000 pounds of high explosive designed to punch through even the thickest armor belt. Flying alongside me were 15 other Avengers from our squadron, plus 24 Hellcat fighters for escort and 12 Helldiver dive bombers. Similar formations were launching from every carrier in Halsey's task force. By the time we formed up and headed west, there were over 200 aircraft in the sky, all hunting for the same target. The radio chatter was minimal as we flew toward the last known position of the Japanese fleet. Below us, the Philippine Sea stretched endlessly, a deep blue carpet broken only by occasional whitecaps. I checked my instruments for the 100th time, making sure everything was functioning properly. In combat, the smallest mechanical failure could mean the difference between coming home and becoming another statistic. At 0930, Lieutenant Commander David McCampbell's voice crackled over the radio from his Hellcat high above us. "Tally-ho! Large surface fleet bearing 270, distance 20 miles. I count multiple large ships, heavy cruisers, and destroyers screen. This is it, boys. My heart rate picked up as I strained to see through the morning haze. Then, like ghost ships materializing from a fog, they appeared. The Japanese center force, Admiral Takeo Kuraida's most powerful remaining fleet, spread across the ocean in a battle formation that would have made Lord Nelson proud. And there, in the center of it all, was the Musashi. Even from 15 miles away, she was unmistakable. Her massive superstructure rose from the water like a steel mountain, her main gun turrets trained skyward in anticipation of our arrival. She was accompanied by her sister battleships Yamato and Nagato, heavy cruisers Miyoko and Haguro, and a screen of destroyers that seemed to stretch to the horizon. "All right, Avengers," came the voice of our squadron leader, Commander Bob Rira. "Remember your training. Low and fast, straight torpedo runs. Make every fish count. The dive bombers will go in first to suppress the flak, then we follow up with torpedoes. Good hunting." What happened next was like flying into the mouth of hell itself. As our formation approached the Japanese fleet, every gun on every ship seemed to open up at once. The sky filled with black puffs of anti-aircraft fire, creating a deadly maze that we had to navigate to reach our target. The Helldivers went in first, screaming down from 12,000 feet in near vertical dives. I watched as they released their 1,000-pound bombs, several scoring direct hits on Musashi's massive deck. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers across her superstructure, but the great ship continued to steam ahead, her guns still firing. "Avengers, this is lead. Beginning our torpedo run now. Stay low and spread out. Don't bunch up and give their gunners easy targets." I pushed Tennessee Bell's nose down and felt the familiar sensation of the dive. The altimeter unwound rapidly as we descended toward the wave tops. The key to a successful torpedo run was to release as close as possible to the target while flying as low as possible. The torpedo needed to enter the water smoothly to avoid breaking up or running too deep. At 500 feet above the water, I leveled off and pushed the throttle forward. The Wright R2600 Cyclone engine roared as we accelerated toward the Japanese fleet. Through my windscreen, Musashi grew larger and larger, her details becoming clearer with each passing second. I could see her massive gun turrets swiveling to track our approach, sailors running across her deck, and the distinctive pagoda-style superstructure that marked her as one of Japan's super battleships. The flak was incredible. Black bursts filled the air around us, and I could hear shrapnel rattling against Tennessee Bell's wings and fuselage. To my left, Lieutenant Bill Morrison's Avenger took a direct hit from a 5-inch shell. The aircraft disintegrated in a ball of fire, taking Bill and his crew with it. There was no time to mourn. In combat, you kept flying or you died. At 800 yards from Musashi's beam, I pressed the torpedo release button. Tennessee Bell lurched upward as the heavy Mark 13 dropped away, its propeller spinning up as it hit the water. I immediately pushed the stick forward and banked hard to the right, trying to get away from the battleship's secondary guns before they could track me. Behind me, I could see my torpedo running true, leaving a white wake as it headed directly for Musashi's port side. Around me, other Avengers were making their runs, their torpedoes creating a spread of deadly tracks converging on the great ship. The first torpedoes began hitting Musashi at 10:39 hours. From my position circling at low altitude, I watched as explosions erupted along her port side. Each hit sent massive columns of water and debris skyward, and I could see her list developing as she took on water. "Direct hit amidships," called out Lieutenant Rodriguez over the radio. "She's taking on a list to port," but Musashi was built to take punishment. Her armor belt was 16 inches thick, backed by multiple layers of steel plating and compartmentalization, designed to keep her fighting even after multiple torpedo hits. She continued to steam ahead at 20 knots, her guns still firing at every American aircraft within range. Over the next hour, wave after wave of American aircraft attacked the Japanese fleet. Helldivers from the USS Intrepid scored multiple bomb hits on Musashi's forward turrets, knocking out several of her main guns. Avengers from the Cabot and the Franklin added their torpedoes to the deadly count, each hit causing more flooding and damage. I made 2 more torpedo runs that day, each one more dangerous than the last as the Japanese gunners refined their aim and the flak grew thicker. On my second run, a fragment of anti-aircraft shell punched through Tennessee Bell's engine cowling, causing a small oil leak. On my third run, my rear gunner, Petty Officer Jake Sullivan, took a piece of shrapnel in his shoulder but kept firing at the Japanese fighters that were trying to intercept us. "How you doing back there, Jake?" I called over the intercom as we climbed away from our third attack. "Still breathing, sir," he replied, his voice tight with pain. "That big bastard's starting to look like a pincushion, though." He was right. By 1300 hours, Musashi had been hit by at least 10 torpedoes and numerous bombs. Her bow was sitting noticeably lower in the water, and she had developed a severe list to port that her damage control teams couldn't correct. Black smoke poured from multiple fires throughout her superstructure, and several of her main gun turrets had been silenced. But she was still afloat, still fighting, and still dangerous. The death blow came during the 4th major attack wave at 1330 hours. By this time, aircraft from 5 different carrier groups had joined the battle, creating the largest concentration of naval air power ever assembled. The sky was filled with over 300 American aircraft, all focused on one target, the mighty Musashi. This time, the coordination was perfect. The Hellcats swept in first, clearing away the remaining Japanese fighter cover and suppressing the anti-aircraft fire. Then came the Helldivers, 30,000-pound bombs cratering Musashi's deck and superstructure. Finally, the Avengers made their torpedo runs from multiple directions simultaneously, creating a devastating crossfire that no ship, however well armored, could survive. I was leading the 2nd Division of Avengers in this final attack. As we approached from the starboard side, I could see other torpedo bombers coming in from port and astern. The Japanese gunners didn't know which formation to concentrate on, and their fire was scattered and less effective. "Remember, boys," I called to my division, "this is for all the good men we've lost. Make it count." At 600 yards, I released my forehand final torpedo of the day. This one was perfect, running straight and true toward Musashi's starboard side, just below her forward turret. As I banked away, I saw it hit with a tremendous explosion that sent a geyser of water and steel fragments hundreds of feet into the air. Around me, 11 other torpedoes from my squadron were finding their mark. The cumulative effect was devastating. Musashi shuddered under the multiple impacts, her massive hull flexing like a living thing in pain. From my cockpit, I could see that her list to port had increased dramatically. She was now listing at least 15 degrees, and her bow was so low that waves were washing over her forward deck. Fires burned throughout her superstructure, and I could see Japanese sailors jumping overboard rather than be trapped inside the dying giant. All aircraft, came the voice of Admiral McKinn over the radio. "Discontinue attacks on target able." "She's finished. RTB immediately. Return to base." The most powerful battleship in the world was dying, and our job was done. We formed up for the return flight to our carriers, but I couldn't resist one last look at Musashi. What I saw was one of the most incredible sights of my naval career. The great battleship was listing heavily to port, her bow almost completely submerged. Thousands of tons of seawater were pouring through the torpedo holes in her hull, and her damage control teams had finally lost the battle against the sea. At 1935 hours, as the sun was setting over the Philippines, Musashi capsized and sank. She went down by the bow, her massive guns sliding beneath the waves first, followed by her superstructure and finally her stern. Over 1,000 Japanese sailors went down with her, including her captain, Rear Admiral Toshihira Inoguchi, who chose to go down with his ship rather than survive her loss. The sinking of Musashi was more than just the destruction of one ship, however powerful. It marked the end of the battleship era and the complete dominance of naval aviation. No surface ship, regardless of armor or armament, could survive sustained attack by modern carrier aircraft. The age of the aircraft carrier had truly arrived. As we flew back to our carriers in the gathering darkness, the magnitude of what we had accomplished began to sink in. We had attacked the most powerful battleship ever built with obsolescent torpedo bombers and had sent her to the bottom. The Avenger, which many critics had dismissed as too slow and vulnerable, had proven itself to be one of the most effective anti-ship weapons in the American arsenal. The statistics were staggering. Over the course of the day, American naval aircraft had made 259 separate attacks on the Japanese center force. Musashi alone had been hit by 17 bombs and 19 torpedoes, more punishment than any ship in history had ever survived. The heavy cruiser Miyako had been so badly damaged that she had to return to port, and several destroyers had been sunk or crippled. But our victory had come at a cost. We had lost 18 aircraft and their crews, including some of the finest pilots in the Pacific Fleet. Each loss was a reminder that even in victory, war exacts a terrible price. Landing back on the Essex that evening was one of the most emotional moments of my naval career. As I taxied Tennessee Belle to her parking spot, I could see the deck crews cheering and waving their caps. Word of Musashi's sinking had already spread throughout the fleet, and everyone understood the significance of what had happened. In the ready room debriefing, the atmosphere was a mixture of celebration and exhaustion. We had accomplished something that many had thought impossible, but we were all aware of the friends who hadn't made it back. "Gentlemen," said Commander Sanchez as he stood before the assembled pilots, "what you did today will be remembered as long as there is a United States Navy. You have proven that American naval aviation is second to none, and you have struck a blow against tyranny that will echo through history. The role of the TBF Avenger in the sinking of Musashi cannot be overstated. This rugged, reliable aircraft, nicknamed the Turkey by its crews due to its somewhat ungainly appearance, had proven itself to be one of the most effective weapons in the Pacific War. The Avenger's ability to carry a 2,000-pound torpedo, or an equivalent bomb load, combined with its long range and sturdy construction, made it the perfect platform for attacking heavily defended targets. The Mark 13 torpedo that we carried was specifically designed for aerial deployment. Unlike earlier torpedo designs that had proven unreliable, the Mark 13 was equipped with a wooden nose cone and stabilizing fins that allowed it to be dropped from higher altitudes and at greater speeds. When it hit the water, it would run at a depth of about 12 feet, perfectly positioned to strike below a ship's armor belt where the hull was thinner. What made the Avenger truly deadly, however, was not just its weapon, but the skill and courage of its crews. Flying a torpedo attack required nerves of steel and precise flying skills. The pilot had to approach the target at exactly the right altitude, speed, and angle while under intense anti-aircraft fire. Any deviation could result in the torpedo running too deep, too shallow, or missing entirely. The bombardier/navigator in the Avenger's middle seat was responsible for arming the torpedo and ensuring it was released at the optimal moment. The rear gunner provided defensive fire against attacking fighters and served as an extra set of eyes for threats from behind. It was a team effort that required perfect coordination under the most stressful conditions imaginable. On October 24, 1944, these teams performed flawlessly. Time and again, Avenger crews pressed home their attacks against one of the most heavily defended targets in naval history. They flew through walls of flak, dodged enemy fighters, and maintained their course even as friends and comrades died around them. Their courage and skill had sunk the unsinkable ship. The sinking of Musashi had immediate and far-reaching strategic consequences. Admiral Kurichi, commanding the Japanese center force, was so shaken by the loss of his most powerful ship that he temporarily turned his fleet around, believing was facing overwhelming American air power. Although he would later reverse course and continue toward Leyte Gulf, the delay caused by the air attacks would prove crucial in the subsequent Battle of Samar. More importantly, the destruction of Musashi marked the definitive end of Japanese naval supremacy in the Pacific. The Imperial Japanese Navy had built these super battleships as symbols of their power and technological superiority. The fact that they could be sunk by aircraft launched from carriers hundreds of miles away demonstrated that the era of the big gunship was over. The psychological impact on the Japanese was equally devastating. Musashi was supposed to be unsinkable, protected by the thickest armor ever installed on a warship. If she could be destroyed by American air power, then no Japanese ship was safe. The myth of invincibility that had surrounded the Imperial Navy since the attack on Pearl Harbor was finally shattered. For American naval aviation, the victory was a vindication of years of training, technological development, and tactical innovation. The techniques we had used, coordinated attacks by multiple aircraft types, precision torpedo bombing, and overwhelming concentration of force, would become the standard for naval air warfare for decades to come. 60 years later, as I write these memoirs, I still remember every detail of that October day when we sent Musashi to the bottom of the Philippine Sea. The smell of cordite and aviation fuel, the sound of engines straining under full power, the sight of that massive battleship slowly rolling over and disappearing beneath the waves, these memories are as clear today as they were in 1944. I think often about the Japanese sailors who died aboard Musashi. They were brave men fighting for their country, just as we were fighting for ours. War is a terrible thing that brings out both the best and worst in humanity. On that day, we saw incredible courage on both sides, American pilots pressing home attacks against impossible odds, and Japanese sailors fighting their ship to the very end. But I also think about what that victory meant for the course of the war and for freedom itself. The sinking of Musashi was part of the larger Battle of Leyte Gulf, which effectively ended Japanese naval power in the Pacific. It brought us one step closer to the final victory that would end World War II and preserve democracy for future generations. The TBF Avenger, that reliable workhorse of American naval aviation, had played a crucial role in that victory. Designed as a replacement for the obsolete TBD Devastator that had been slaughtered at Midway, the Avenger had proven itself to be everything its predecessor was not: fast, tough, and deadly effective. Over 9,800 Avengers were built during World War II, and they served not only as torpedo bombers but as level bombers, rocket platforms, anti-submarine patrol aircraft, and even early warning radar planes. After the war, many were converted for civilian use as crop dusters, firefighters, and cargo haulers. Some are still flying today, preserved by aviation enthusiasts who understand their historical significance. Tennessee Bell survived the war, as did I and most of my crew. Jake Sullivan recovered from his wound and went on to become a chief petty officer, serving in Korea and Vietnam before retiring after 30 years of naval service. We stayed in touch until his death in 2003, and every year on October 24th, we would call each other to remember our fallen comrades and celebrate our survival. The aircraft that sank Musashi came from many different carriers and squadrons, but we were all united by a common purpose and a shared experience that few people can truly understand. We were part of something larger than ourselves, part of the greatest naval battle in history and the final defeat of fascism in the Pacific. Today, when I see young people taking their freedom for granted, I want to tell them about that October day when American sailors and aviators risked everything to preserve that freedom. I want them to understand that democracy is not automatic, that it must be defended by each generation, and that sometimes that defense requires the ultimate sacrifice. The Grumman TBF Avenger was more than just an aircraft. It was a symbol of American industrial might and technological innovation. It was proof that a free society could outproduce, outfight, and ultimately defeat any totalitarian regime, no matter how powerful or determined. When those Avengers skimmed the waves toward Musashi on that long-ago October morning, they carried with them the hopes and prayers of a nation at war. When they returned to their carriers that evening, they brought with them victory and the promise of peace. The giant had fallen, struck down by the skill and courage of American naval aviators flying obsolescent aircraft against impossible odds. It was, in many ways, the perfect metaphor for the entire Pacific War, American ingenuity and determination overcoming superior numbers and seemingly insurmountable challenges. As I sit here in my study, surrounded by photographs and mementos from that distant war, I can still hear the sound of those Radar 2600 engines turning over on an October morning in 1944. I can still see the wake of my torpedo heading toward its target, and I can still feel the satisfaction of knowing that we had done our job and done it well. The Avenger had lived up to its name that day, avenging Pearl Harbor Bataan, and all the other defeats and sacrifices that had marked the early years of the Pacific War. In sinking Musashi, we had not only destroyed the most powerful battleship ever built, we had proven that American naval aviation was the finest in the world. That legacy continues today in the supercarriers and strike aircraft of the modern Navy. The techniques we developed, the courage we displayed, and the victories we won paved the way for American naval dominance that continues to this day. Every time a naval aviator lands on a carrier deck or launches on a combat mission, he or she is following in the contrails of those Avengers that attacked Musashi nearly 8 decades ago. The ship is gone, resting on the bottom of the Philippine Sea in 3,000 feet of water. Most of the men who flew against her are gone too, claimed by time rather than enemy fire. But the memory lives on, and the lesson endures, that free people, fighting for a just cause with courage and determination, can overcome any enemy, no matter how powerful. On October 24, 1944, America stunned Japan when our Avengers crippled and sank the mighty Musashi. It was a victory that changed the course of naval warfare forever and brought us one step closer to the peace that so many had died to achieve. For those of us who were there, it remains the proudest moment of our lives the day we helped sink the unsinkable ship and proved that American naval aviation was second to none.